welcome. You're watching Unplugged TV India. This is Alice Francis. Thanks for tuning in. Let's begin with top stories first. Rahul Gandhi and other Congress leaders detained after protest against ED summons to Sonia. Rahul Gandhi and other Congress leaders were detained after they staged a protest against the Enforcement Directorate's summon to the party leader Sonia Gandhi. Among those detained are Ranjit Ranjan, K.C. Venugopal, Manik Name Tagore, Imran Pratap Ghari, K. Suresh and others. Supreme Court to hear Team Thackeray's plea on August 1. Shiv Sena Chief Uddhav Thackeray's petition over the tug of war for the party's poll symbol will be heard by the Supreme Court on Monday. Thackeray has moved the top court for a stay on the Election Commission's proceeding on the Eknath Shinde's faction's move to be recognized as the real Shiv Sena. The tussle for the symbol comes after the rebellion in party ranks brought down the Mahavikas Aghadi government. Discussion on price rise once Finance Minister recovers from COVID. Parliamentary Affairs Ministry Prahlad Joshi on Tuesday assured that a discussion on price rise will take place in Parliament once Finance Minister Sitharaman, who was down with COVID, return in a day or two. The minister said that inflation in India is contained as compared to many other countries. Cabin crew finds severed snake head in plane meal. Turkish airline launches probe. A flight attendant from a Turkey-based airline, Sun Express, allegedly found a severed snake head in an in-flight claim that it was found among the potato and vegetables while they were eating their crew meal. While visuals of the incident were shared on social media, the airline said that the incident was absolutely unacceptable and launched an investigation. Taliban urges Hindus Sikhs to return to Afghanistan. As it claimed that the security situation in Afghanistan has been solved, Taliban urged Hindus and Sikhs to return to Afghanistan. This comes after the Director General of the Office of the Minister of State Taliban, Dr. Mullah Abdulwasi, met with a number of members of the Hindu and Sikh Council of Afghanistan on July 24. Several people shot in targeted mass shootings in Canada. An early morning mass shooting in Canada's British Columbia resulted in multiple victims. Police said on Monday the victims were homeless and police believe the attack was targeted, adding that one person has been taken into custody. Emergency alerts about multiple shooting scenes in downtown Langley were issued shortly. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi was detained by the Delhi police amid protest against the ED summoning of Sonia Gandhi in an alleged money laundering case. Other party leaders including Mallikarjun Kharge, Ranjit Ranjan, K.C. Venugopal, Manikam Tagore, Imran Pratap Ghari and K. Suresh Rao were also detained. It seems that the Enforcement Directorate is taking its job damn seriously, and after independent media, NGOs, comedians, Bollywood celebs, civil societies, activists and many other politicians, finally the ED took a turn to the India's biggest opposition party leader. Politicization of ED began during the tenure of former Finance Minister P. Chidambaram. While amendments under the Congress government expanded PMLA's reach, those under BJP have given it more teeth. Also, the recent one is West Bengal Minister Partha Chatterjee, who is being grilled by the ED. Last year, Nawab Malik Anil Deshmukh was on a roll. Malik, belonging to the Nationalist Congress Party, serving as a minister in Maharashtra government, then a coalition of parties opposed the Bharatiya Janata Party, had become a fixture on national television ever since he launched a series of blistering attacks on the Narcotics Control Bureau. The central government agency had arrested Malik's son-in-law in January, followed by Aryan Khan, the son of actor Shah Rukh Khan, in October. Malik alleged both cases were false and had been propped up by the BJP-led central government to discredit those who did refuse to toe its line. 7 months later, in May, the Narcotics Control Bureau dropped all charges against Aryan Khan. If Malik felt vindicated, he had no opportunity to express his views. For over 4 months now, he has been in jail. Malik was booked under the PMLA for property transactions. That took nearly 2 decades ago. One of the transactions dates back to 2003. 2 years before the money laundering law itself came into force. The ability to retrospectively apply India's money laundering law flows from a legal amendment made in August 2019. It is one of the several amendments to the act that Narendra Modi government introduced in the form of money bills, thereby passing the scrutiny of the Rajya Sabha, the upper house of parliament, where India's opposition outnumbers the ruling party. The government claims that the amendments were necessary to strengthen the Enforcement Directorate's ability to investigate serious financial crimes. But its opponent allege they have made a law that already than terror's laws even more draconian. Armed with extraordinary powers, the ED is being harnessed by the government to go after its political adversaries, they say. The PMLA, in their view, has become the hatched law of the Modi government. A rise in cases, searches, seizures, it is indisputable that the Modi government has turbocharged the use of the money laundering law. Data submitted by the Finance Ministry in the Lok Sabha in March shows that in the decade between 2004 to 2014, the ED carried out 112 searches in the course of investigating money laundering cases. In the next 8 years, the number shot up by 26 times to 2,974 searches. Similarly, the number of prosecution complaints where the ED sums up the charges against an accused in court like a police charge sheet rose by nearly 8 times from 104 in the years before 2014 to 839 since then. The value of assets attached by the ED also went up from Rs 5,346 crore between 2004 to 15 to 95,000 crore between 14 to 22. Data furnished by the Modi government in the Supreme Court reveals similar trends. Of the 4,700 cases filed under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act since it came into force in 2005, nearly half or 2,186 cases have been filed in just the past 5 years. 2019 amendments appear to have accelerated action under the law. Between April 2020 and March 2021, when India spent months under a lockdown to contain the COVID-19 pandemic, 981 cases were filed under the PMLA, the highest since the law came into existence. The conviction rate in money laundering cases, though, remains dismissal. The ED in nearly 17 years of the PMLA has been able to secure only 23 convictions. Now, the most interesting part, who are the targets of the ED? The money laundering law has been invoked against a range of companies, rights groups, activists, and journalists. But the cases that have attracted the most attention are those against political leaders. Leaders from virtually every major opposition party in India are battling money laundering cases. Crucially, the investigations have often surfaced when these politicians were lagged in high-stakes battles with the BJP. Most recently, this was visible in Maharashtra. In June, a surprise rebellion erupted within the Shiv Sena with a contingent of MLAs deserting Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray and declaring support for the BJP. At the peak of the crisis, the ED summoned Rajya Sabha member Sanjay Raut, Thackeray's chief firefighter. By then, among the state government's constituted parties, at least 15 leaders and their relatives were being investigated under PMLA. In the letter to the Rajya Sabha, Chairman Raut alleged the ED was already harassing and intimidating people connected to him. It had picked up 28 people and subjected them to wrongful confinement. After he released the letter, the ED attached a flat owned by his wife, apart from land owned by a builder associated with him. As jokes circulated about the next government being an ED government, BJP leader Devendra Fadnavis, deputy to rebel Eknath Shinde, shot back. He said, yes, it's an ED government of Eknath Devendra. Maharashtra isn't the only opposition-run state where the ED has parachuted into a political crisis. In July 2020, the Congress government in Rajasthan was the upheaval of Deputy Chief Minister Sachin Pilot and 18 MLAs broke ranks with Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot, following allegations that Pilot had offered bribes to his fellow legislators in the Congress to join the BJP. Amidst this drama, on July 22, the ED raided the home and business establishments in Jodhpur of Agrasen Gehlot, the Chief Minister's brother. The raid was based on a criminal complaint filed on July 19 by a customs superintendent in neighboring Gujarat relating to a case of smuggling and evasion of duties in the export of fertilizers dating back to more than a decade before. Incidentally, the complaint was filed the same day that Rajasthan High Court took up the matter of the 20 dissident MLAs' disqualification by the Speaker. In February, in the run-up to Assembly elections in Punjab, weeks after Prime Minister Narendra Modi got stuck on a flyover, allegedly leaving him incensed with Charanjit Singh Channi, who was Chief Minister at the time, the ED kicked into action in yet another case dating back some years. It arrested Channi's nephew Bhupinder Singh Honey in a case of alleged illegal sand mining filed by the Punjab police in 2018. The original FIR, however, had not named Honey. If the timing of ED investigation appears suspect in several cases involving the opposition, conversely, it is had not to notice the lack of similar alacrity in cases involving BJP leaders. Perhaps the most glaring example of this is Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma and the multi-crore Shraddha Ponzi scam. Perhaps the most glaring example of this is Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma and the multi-crore Shraddha Ponzi scam. In a letter to the Central Bureau of Investigation, the Shraddha's group founder Sudipta Sen and the main accused in the case had alleged that he had bribed Sharma. While the ED charge-sheeted several Trinamool Congress leaders on the basis of the letter, it never summoned Sharma. It had interrogated his wife Rinki Biswa Sharma months before he left the Congress to join the BJP, but never after that. The opposition's charge of partisan action by the ED can be easily settled if the government makes a confidential document public. In August 2021, the ED reportedly submitted a list of 122 elected representatives who are currently being investigated for money laundering charges to the lawyer or amicus curiae helping the Supreme Court in a matter related to delayed investigations against political representatives. However, the Times of India, which claims to have accessed the list, published a report featuring 52 names drawn from it. Nearly all belong to opposition parties. The only BJP leaders mentioned in the report were former Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa, leader of opposition in Bengal Suvendu Adhikari, and actor former Mithun Chakrabarti. The agency had summoned Adhikari and Chakrabarti for questioning when they were in the Trinamool Congress in September last year. After Adhikari had crossed over to the BJP, the agency filed the prosecution complaint in the Narada case, in which he was being investigated, but it did not name him. This despite the fact that he faced exactly the same allegations with the same evidence as the other Trinamool Congress members who featured in the prosecution complaint. The law had earlier haunted Congress in 2019. As I mentioned, former Finance Minister P.C. Chidambaram spent 106 days in jail charged for a scheduled offence that was added to the money laundering law under his watch. More dangerously, the expansion of the list of scheduled offences has increased the scope of arbitrary action under the law. In the Supreme Court, Solicitor General Tushar Mehta seemingly to push back against the argument that PMLA was being misused by the Modi government. He said that during the past 5 years, only 2,086 cases had been taken up for investigation under the law out of 33 lakh FIRs registered in the predicted offences. This, say lawyers, is precisely the problem. The ED can selectively pick cases without having to justify why one case of alleged cheating amounts to a suspected money laundering case, while another does not. What changed with the 2019 amendments? The 2019 amendments have further weaponized the ED. Originally, the law mandated that only after the police had filed a charge sheet in a court of law for the predicate offence could the Enforcement Directorate initiate a probe into the financial aspect of it. An amendment in 2009 changed this to allow searches and seizures by the ED once the police had filed a first information report or FIR on the trigger offence. In 2019, even this requirement was done away with. So here's a catch. A revolutionary law act was brought to convict genuine criminals, but it's now become a tool for political score settling. If you are really strict, apply the same standards to everyone. Is that what's happening?